The Russians are looking for peace by sending missile greetings to Ukraine. On the morning of March 7, Russia once again launched a massive missile and drone strike on Ukraine's gas and energy infrastructure. Calibre cruise missiles were launched from the Black Sea, and two I-95 strategic bombers took to the skies from the Olenia airfield on the Kola Peninsula. Mirhorod suffered the most, where more than 10 explosions thundered, as well as Poltava, Sumy and Ternopil regions. 8 people were injured in Kharkiv. And while Russia is peacefully bombing Ukraine, Washington continues to practice demagogic somersaults about a peace deal. Trump is ready to sign an agreement on natural resources with Zelensky, but on the condition that he agrees to a truce and negotiations with Moscow. However, the opinion may change, since Trump often changes his positions. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said that the U.S. freeze on arms sales to Ukraine and cutting Ukraine off from U.S. intelligence is a pause pending a genuine commitment to the path to peace. And the Kremlin applauded. In response to objections that this step plays into Moscow's hands, Hegseth accused the media of whipping up unhealthy hype. The press is interested in narratives. Our president is interested in peace. So we will be characterized one way or another. Oh, your position is pro-Russian or pro. This is all garbage, Hegseth said. The Trump administration's denial is a classic tactic acquired through close communication with its Russian handlers. And Trump himself continues to make cryptic statements. I think Ukraine wants to make a deal because they have no choice. And I also think Russia wants to make a deal because in some other sense that only I know, they have no choice either, end of quote. Where Trump gets his knowledge of secret Russian meanings from is anyone's guess. But Europe has stirred. French President Macron addressed the nation, confirming his readiness to send French peacekeepers to Ukraine after the ceasefire. He outlined the contours of the Russian threat to the entire continent and declared France's readiness to cover its allies with a nuclear umbrella. And future German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said that Berlin should begin negotiations on expanding the nuclear deterrent forces of France and Great Britain to cover Europe. According to experts, one option could be for Germany to develop a small batch of untested weapons, which would be enough to deter a potential aggressor. So why shouldn't Ukraine think about it? The Lithuanian Foreign Intelligence Service has released a report claiming that a diplomatic freeze on the war in Ukraine in the next 6 months is unlikely. After all, in this case, Russia would simply return to the stalemate that Putin broke with his invasion in February 2022. At a meeting of EU leaders in Brussels on March 6, Italian Prime Minister Meloni proposed extending Article 5 of the NATO Charter to Ukraine, which stipulates that an attack on one NATO member is considered an attack on all. This is different from joining NATO, but it means extending the same guarantees to Ukraine that member states enjoy. This would be a stable, long-term guarantee, more effective than other proposals. And we are discussing this, Meloni said. Brussels also approved the European Commission's plan to strengthen the EU's defence potential, which provides for an additional €800 billion. Rearmament of Europe is seen as one of the factors in containing the Bolshevik savages. In the United States, after mass layoffs of civil servants and public outrage against the shadow president Elon Musk, Trump limited the powers of the scandalous billionaire. In the presence of Musk himself, Trump said that from now on his decisions would be advisory in nature, to which Musk agreed, admitting his mistakes to members of the administration. And transgender mice cried in an embrace with transgenic ones. Troubles have overwhelmed Musk. The 8th test launch of the Starship spacecraft ended in failure. The rocket exploded shortly after takeoff, as during the previous launch in January. Musk is not so omnipotent. But Trump's idea of landing Chinese troops to maintain peace in Europe no longer makes anyone laugh. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, with the gentleness of a panda, hinted that Beijing is ready to contribute to the establishment of a fair and lasting peace, based on the wishes of all participants. And while Trump takes revenge on Zelensky and the rebellious Congressman Al Green, who interrupted his speech in Congress, Ukraine continues to fight off peace-loving Russia. And none of the cunning politicians can understand a simple axiom: peace is synonymous with justice. And until it is achieved, the war will continue.